And hello and happy Mother's Day to all of our mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to everybody.
I think you've talked to all three of our kids, right?
I have.
Yep. Everybody's in lockdown still. No personal visits. But I don't know. We were talking the other night. I think we're seeing our kids more than we saw them before with FaceTime and Zoom and all those other technology tools. But person in person is still the best way, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Yep. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Ask Us Anything. We are Mike and Jennifer, and we are glad to see so many of you standing there already in line. And we've got a couple of things we want to talk about tonight. We thought that what we really should talk about and focus in on is the travel conditions where you are. There are changing situations in every state, and so we'll kind of walk through, and you tell us the RV travel situation in your area. For example, we're in Florida, and while the state parks are largely, except for maybe around Miami and Dade County, largely open for day use, they are not yet open for overnight camping. So that's in Florida. Now, they're expected to open over the next couple of weeks. We'll see how that goes. I got a note yesterday from one of our viewers in Wyoming, and they said in Wyoming, only through July, they were not accepting state park reservations even into July unless you were an in-state resident. So it's going to be confusing. And then talk about your thoughts on what you think the RV travel situation will be this summer. So that's kind of our general theme, but we want to always greet the first person that was waiting in line, and that's our friend Ed Richards from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, on a beautiful afternoon and evening. Tennis shoe mobile. It means he's walking around in the botanical gardens doing some macro work with his camera, I'm sure, taking pictures of those blooming flowers out there. Well, thanks for being with us, Ed. Thanks to Linda Ward in Mercer County, New Jersey. Happy Mother's Day, Jennifer, she says.
Well, thank you, and same to you, Linda.
Ron says he hopes you had a happy Mother's Day. Pam Marshall's Pam Morrison's in San Francisco. Henry Rosa in New York City. Hey, Henry. Tom Hoffman, Lake Tahoe, Nevada. We've got Diana joining us in Wisconsin, where it's chilly. She wishes she was in Florida.
I wish you were too.
I think everybody is here. Holy cow, there's
They're
a lot
here.
of people.
It's bumper-to-bumper traffic out there.
The patient picker says hi in Pittsburgh, getting ready to move to yellow status on Friday. And Friday the 15th, I think that is, and hope everybody's doing good and staying healthy. It's just very confusing out there trying to figure what's open and what is not. But we are still coming to you from Okaloosa County, which is Okaloosa Island, Florida, which is right there is where we're live. This is, how long have we been here? It seems like forever.
I think it's 9 weeks.
9 weeks we've been hunkered down at the condo here.
And it is better here than in Michigan.
It certainly is. The beaches opened a week ago, and they were jammed today. A lot of people celebrated Mother's Day.
Everybody was coming out to enjoy the.
And we met a lot. We've met a lot of people at the dog park from other areas.
Oh, everybody's at the dog park.
Yeah, lots of people coming down, and I know that's something that they still don't want. They're trying to keep the tourists away for a while, but we'll kind of wait and see, I guess, what happens. Joanne says hi from Brooklyn, New York, and happy Mother's Day. She wishes you, Jennifer.
And same to you, Joanne.
Sharon is in the Poconos. Happy Mother's Day to Phyllis Kerr, who's helping moderate all the discussions. And also Chris Cowley is here, welcoming everybody too. And Chris reminds you to put comment or question at the start of your message, all in caps like that. And it'll be easy for us as we get going here and we see many people on that will be able to do it. Leslie asked a question. What do you plan to do with second internet provider when your Togo expires, and what data plans are you considering? Well, I'm staying with the data plan we have with Verizon, which is our main one. But you're right. I have a post up and a video on the YouTube channel here about Togo, which was this a really great system that we got a little over a year ago. And I bought a year's service for $360, pretty much unlimited. And that was great, except they won't extend that offer, and their new rates are like way high. And I think AT&T figured that, well, since you go to all that work of putting that dome up on top and you set up that system and run the wires, you'll pay it. I'm not going to pay it. They incredibly high rates, and it was a ridiculous bait and switch in my view. So what do I do with that thing up there? Well, it still is a Wi-Fi extender, so I can use it for that as an amplifier for Wi-Fi. And I have not seen the results. I haven't really looked for them, but I'm told that Weingard, the maker of that Togo system, was working on trying to make it work with other data cards. So I may look at another data card, another plan that I could stick in there so I had an alternative to Verizon. But at this point, I don't plan on using it much at all, except it's there. And if you can put another card in, that will be great. So we'll give that a try. Cynthia's in Roseville. Kate has a question. Did I go too far with the water aerobics? Jennifer, did I go too far with the water aerobics? Sorry, I wasn't thinking, just wanted a 15-minute, easy to remember on the road workout.
Oh.
You're so pleasant.
Oh.
And
I didn't know that what was wanted.
Kate wants you to do a video on it.
Oh.
Do some stretches and stuff to show it.
Oh. Well, that would be easier said than done.
Wow, pool's right out there.
I know, the
just a
pool
little
is
bit.
freezing.
Yeah.
The heater's broken. That pool is getting colder instead of
How
warmer.
cold is that pool?
Last I heard 74.
You know, it's because the daytime temperatures are usually in the 80s. They're pretty
But
close
the
to.
nights are cold.
Nights
It
get
takes
down
the
to the
heat out.
60s. Yeah. Maureen joins us from Vancouver, and happy that summer weather is out that way. And I think all that summer weather out there in the Pacific Northwest is going to be sweeping across the country. So it looks like this is going to be a nice, seasonably warm week coming ahead for most of the country, and that's great. Dave is in North Carolina. Charlie Grace is in Nashville. Bill and Kim in Genesee, wherever that is. I think that's what it is. Genesco, Illinois. There we go. McDillies is in Ocala. Question from E Square. Do you know any small RV wind turbine manufacturers to supplement solar? And if so, do you have an opinion? Seems reasonable to me. Saw a story on it the other day. Last thing I'd carry is a wind turbine because you'd
don't
have
have
to.
a lot of room.
You don't have a lot of room. You got a big mast you got to pack up, even if you got a telescoping one. Now our friend Camp Skunk had one early on, and that would be back in 2012 when we first started doing this. 2013, he carried one. He had a Chevy van, Class B, and he carried one. But I noticed he didn't carry it in the next one he got or the next one after that. So I don't know. I think it's probably...
Yeah, he's a real inventor type.
Yeah.
And if he didn't continue with it, that's a bad sign.
I'm happy with solar. Solar handles everything I need. I don't need anything more. And so we would, just because
You don't
of
have
the
to
room
think about
factor.
it. You don't have to set anything up or take it down. It's there.
Yeah, I mean, that's our point. Just make it as simple as possible. I don't want to have to set up something or be dependent on it. Now, it could be kind of fun. I will admit that. It kind of would be fun, but I don't think I'd want to carry it along. So for us, it's just not very viable. But that's just our opinion, which you asked for. So there it was. Hi to Shayna, Shirley, and Ann, as well as Glenn. And here's somebody that forever best friend wanted to know about that wind turbine too, but not something that we would ever get, ever. So,
Well, maybe someday. You never say never.
well, I can say never. I think pretty close on that one. My daughter made me apple cider donut whoopie pies for Mother's Day. Ooh, that would be pretty good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hi to Eric and Rhonda. All right, now let's get on. In Tennessee, the state parks are open for camping, which is good to
Awesome.
know. So let's hear from some of your tips, and we'll see what's happening in your area. So that's one state now with the state parks open for camping, and that's good. Ronald offers us a comment. He says he's in Mason, Ohio. He plans to attend the winter campout again this year. Had a great time. Hey, Ron. Yeah, we hope to be doing it this winter, I think, up at Tequamanon Falls State Park in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. That's the second weekend of January, or is it second?
It's a second.
I think that's when it would be, the second
we did
weekend of
that,
January.
made it the second week because of the Tampa show.
Yeah. Can you tell me about traveling with a dog? Better yet, I can give you a free ebook that we wrote about traveling with a dog. Lindy, I think this is the correct address. Phyllis or Chris will correct it in the comments. But I think if you go to our blog, our main blog, and that blog address is right there, is rvlifestyle.com. Then put a / and type in dog after that. I think that will take you to our free downloadable book on how to travel with the dog. So that's good. If you just go to rvlifestyle.com, and I hope you all go there and read that all the time. We've got some great stuff that have been published just in the past few days. But add a / to that address and dog, and you can download our free book. Traveling with the dog, where do we start?
Well, it depends on what size dog, small, medium, or large. And dogs limit what you can do. They're wonderful travel companions. They're your friend. They always want to be with you. It's hard to leave them different places when you have to leave them to go to some things.
When we say
So-
always want to be with you,
Bo is right back there.
there's Bo. Can you see? You can barely see him. He's lying right behind us.
Yeah.
He doesn't go far.
In fact, I'm kind of worried because we've been together so much that when we do have to leave him, I think it's going to be hard on him.
Yeah, he is. I think you said something right at the beginning of that answer that we need to amplify on. It is hard to travel with a dog. Now, some of you have little tiny dogs that you carry around like purses, and you don't go anywhere without them, and that's okay, But our dog, you are limited to taking them in most places in a national park. You can't
They're
take
not
them
allowed.
on most trails. You can't take them on because of wildlife. In most state parks, you can't take them everywhere. You certainly have to have them on a leash all the time.
When you want to go for a long distance bike ride and you have a big dog,
What do you do?
yeah, what do you do? Because you can't leave them in your rig because chances are they'll bark, and you're not going to ride a bike holding your dog.
No, you shouldn't. That's
shouldn't.
not safe. I know a guy who fractured his skull doing that,
Yeah,
so don't do
we
that.
don't recommend it.
Now, we do have some things, and I think we talk about them in that free guide, and one of them is we have a device called the Nimble, and it's basically will send to my smartphone the temperature inside the RV anytime I need to know it, and if it goes over a certain temperature, it's uncomfortable for the dog, I can get back, make sure the air conditioning is working, but you got to be aware that you
And
can't do a lot of stuff when you
I think
travel
if
with
you
the dog.
had two dogs, maybe they'd keep each other company, and that might be easier. I don't know. We've never had two dogs, but they might keep each other company because Bo gets lonesome.
Yep. So it's a challenge to travel with the dog, and
Because they're not welcome so many places.
many places. I think more places that we're finding, and this is starting our 9th year of doing this, and there are definitely more places now that are not dog friendly. There
If
is
you go out west, a lot of towns out west, you have to look up dog friendly. Check out places that are dog friendly where you can take your dog to restaurants and walk the streets, and it's not a problem.
there is a website that we use, and it's an app. If it's a website, I don't think it's an app. Just Go Pet Friendly, all one word. GoPetFriendly.com, and you can search the area you are, and it will tell you where a friendly place is. Some restaurants will let you eat out in a patio, outdoor patio with the dog. That's always nice.
And it's hard because we find dog parks for Bo where he can interact, and not all the dogs there are well adjusted, and you're concerned for your pet's safety.
Yeah. Good question. And again, that free book that we wrote about traveling with travel with the dog is rvlifestyle.com / dog. Nicole has a question. Oh, she said, we just watched your Flamingo Everglades video here on YouTube, and it looks wonderful. Our 5-year-old wants to see the gators. Well, he would see the gators, and if you go to that campground that we showed you, he'll also see the crocodiles.
And the manatee.
And the manatees. And everybody said, how do you tell a crocodile and a gator? You can read that post on our blog, rvlifestyle.com, and you can also see the video and see what we're talking about. So go to rvlifestyle.com, and you'll see that story about the campground. And then here on YouTube, we just put that video up. But your 5-year-old would love it. Now, there's a couple things we talked about the bugs. That's one of the things you got to be aware of. Particularly, remember, you're in a swamp, in the biggest swamp on the continent. You're 38 miles down a road from the main road in a swamp. So there are mosquitoes. And I think in the video you had you said 16 bites on your leg or something.
Yeah, and that was when it was cool and the wind was blowing, and someone told us they went there and they had to leave. So be aware.
Yep. Yep. Kate saw that same story. Everglades. Wow. What is the turtle with the little alligator head called? I don't know. I don't know what it's called. We just called it a turtle, a big turtle. My border collie would chase off those pesky vultures. I'd just say, "Big bird." I love all birds. Yeah, those vultures, and you see that in the video too. I hope you all go to that video. Give it a thumbs up. Would you do that? And this is a chance to please ask you guys to subscribe to our channel here. Would you do us a favor? Because that way, when you subscribe, you can also click a little bell and then get notified when we have new videos or when we come on live like that. But if you're not a subscriber, please do so. We'd really appreciate that. But if you have not seen it, we had a great time putting that video together, and you asked for it. We did a little survey last week of what video do you want us to do next, and that's the one that everybody picked. So it's pretty good. Cheryl says it's snowing in Michigan.
I wouldn't doubt that at all.
Oh my gosh, I'm looking
What
at it.
part of Michigan are
Yeah.
you in, Cheryl?
Yeah, I'm looking at the Detroit area, and it says it's 42 degrees there. So she might be up north, or I guess it could snow at 42 because it's much colder in the atmosphere. Question: my carbon monoxide alarm went off in the middle of the night, flashing red, constant beeping, indicating a propane leak. Is this something for a mobile tech or a propane company? There are lots of things that cause that. I don't know that you really have a propane leak. It could be just if you cooked weird. We used to have ours go off a couple of times, and I'm trying to think what made it. If you just turned on the heater for the first time or the air conditioner for the first time in the season, that might have set it off. But always better to be safe than sorry. I would call a mobile RV tech. They can handle just about anything. So I would go to that. But remember, sometimes we'd have ours go off. Sometimes the fire thing would go off when we'd cook certain meals. I'm trying to think what made it go off in one of them. All the time it was going off.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
I
but I
finally
just
went
remember
and pulled
it
the
going off.
fuse out. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. But call a mobile tech. They'll come over, and better safe than than having something that you didn't know was there. Tom says greetings from Ann Arbor, Michigan. He left his LTV FX in Orlando 8 weeks ago and needs to hop on a flight and bring it up. Glad we're starting to open back up again. I don't think you are in Michigan, though. It is here in Florida. Florida is starting, just no overnight camping yet here. So I'm curious, in your states, if you'll give us a clue, what can you do overnight camping in your state parks, for example, wherever you all are located? We'd love to hear from that. Lots of you saying hi. Ivan and Josie. Christina says hi. Mindy says hi. Those are all good to see. Ron says hi from Cincinnati.
Thank you, Ron.
We're leaving on the 14th for Coconino National Forest for 3 weeks of boondocking. Most national forest campgrounds are closed in Arizona. They are, and I would not necessarily head out there. If you can certainly boondock out on some of the BLM land in the dispersed camping areas, but I don't know when those national forest things are going to open up. But thank you for that report. It's good to know. Another happy Mother's Day, Jennifer.
Thank you
also
much.
from Bill, and Christina, and Robert says hi from, and Johanne says from Sutton, Quebec, Canada. I thought you were heading to Michigan. Did I watch an older version of yours? Probably, because we're not heading to Michigan anytime soon. Michigan is probably one of the most locked up states in the country, under great controversy about that from people who are very strong on both sides of the issue. And we have no intention of going there for a while. So we're staying down here in the sunshine in Florida, and that's good. Kathy says, what RV GPS? Kathy, I've used them all. And in our Mercedes, we like the built-in nav system that comes in the new Sprinter, the 2019 Sprinter. But I use the Waze app. And that Waze app on my smartphone, and I use that in the car or in the RV through CarPlay, Apple CarPlay. And that is just, it's been just fantastic for us. Waze is such a great app. It really tells you what's ahead, what what kind of traffic conditions are ahead. You can even use it as an old fuzz buster. Remember those things? It tells you where the police are located, and it's pretty accurate. It's all crowdsourced. Folks post on there. So there's where we are there. Can you see? That's the one I use. I use Waze all the time, and it's through CarPlay. There is a version of it if you have Android through Android Auto, I believe, as well. But instead of a standalone GPS, I find myself almost exclusively using that now. And I plug it in, the USB connector into the entertainment console, and that keeps it charged as well. Happy Mom's Day, Jen. Our campgrounds are closed till June. However, the provincial parks are opening on Monday. Debbie, you didn't tell us where you are.
Well, provincial parks.
In Canada, but we don't know which province. I kind of think she's in Ontario, but I don't know. Maureen, BC camps, British Columbia parks. She has I don't know. Starting May 14th and June 1st, staggering rules. You'll have to Google them in British Columbia. That's the problem. The rules are all different everywhere.
Yeah.
And in different parts of the same
state. And
state.
then they change, too.
Yeah. Lance says, I'm glad you're not close to the fires. We saw the smoke from the fires. I don't know if they're out yet or not. I thought last I heard they had most of them out. But, they're up towards the I-10 corridor, which is 30 miles north of us.
Just one day we smelled some smoke outside.
Yep.
And we could see the smoke up in the sky.
Yep. Hi from Schwenkville, Pennsylvania. I hope my reservation for the last week of June at Sterling State Park in Monroe, in Michigan, does not get canceled. I hope it doesn't too.
I hope it doesn't too. I wouldn't be surprised if they stayed locked down for a long time.
Yeah, I'm not going to give you any comment on Michigan because last time I did, somebody got mad at me. And the time before that, I've got people mad at me on both sides of the issue there in Michigan. But I think objectively, I can say Michigan is one of the most shut down places in the country. Shirley has a super chat. Yay, Shirley! Thank you. $9.99 super chat. Have a happy Mother's Day, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Go celebrate. And she loves Verizon. All right, so I'll buy you some tea for $9.90. How's that? The hairstylist opened here. Again, you're not telling me where here is. I have no idea. So, okay. Tell us where you are. Don't just say here because we have no idea. In Florida,
I'm happy. I'm happy that they opened because I thought that Georgia was the only state that was open, and here on Monday.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. You can get legal haircuts rather than just having a
speakeasy. It's like a speakeasy. You have to sneak in. They shut all the drapes. They make sure nobody's looking. That's the way it's been. But Florida opens up for barbers and hair salons tomorrow. So that's good. Adventures in Xanadu, Ludington, Michigan, where they still can't camp. Love you guys. Still glad you're having fun and healthy. We are. Thank you very much for that. Let's see what we have. Steve, question. Bought my first RV in January. Drove it from Pennsylvania to West Virginia and tarped it. Can't wait to be able to use it one day.
You can't wait.
What do you suggest for a first getaway? If this is your first one, I just was writing on a couple posts we'll have on that we'll announce in our newsletter tomorrow. We recommend the first place you go is your own driveway. Is do a shakedown cruise with your new RV in your own driveway. Make a big fun outing of it. Set it all up. Put the beds up. Fix some food. Watch some TV. Chill out. Make sure you know how it feels, how everything works out. Camp in your own driveway. And then you can, if you need something tweaked, you can go to an RV dealer, or maybe you find something that's not working right, and but figure it out in your own driveway. And
if you've already done that, find a campground not too far from home.
Yeah, go close to home. What do you think? An hour or two from home, you can get away from it.
Whatever you can find.
Yep. I guess what I was just saying is don't go really ambitious.
Too far.
Yeah, you just ease into it. Couple, 3 times, and you'll have it all down. Let's see. We've had triple desert weather, says Trish in Arizona. I saw that. Ooh. Phoenix had 101 on Friday. That's amazing. Question from Lindy. I'm still in the thinking about buying an RV stage. That can last a long time. You mentioned the difficulty of traveling with the dog. How tough is it? It's tough. You know, if you just want to sit, it's okay, right?
Yeah.
If you just sit, no
And
problem.
take little walks.
And
Usually you can always walk around the campground. We've been to places where you couldn't leave the campground.
Yeah, we just had one here in Florida, Jetty Park over in the Atlantic.
Yeah.
It was a campground surrounded by a beautiful park, and you couldn't even walk your dog on a leash in the park. You had to stay in that campground.
And I blame people that don't clean up after their dogs.
Yeah, that's always what causes it, always. But, you know, I don't want to minimize it. Again, some people, their ambition, their idea of camp is just to sit in a place and maybe their chairs and watch, and that's fine. It's easy with a dog then. But if you like to go on hikes, if you like to go for long bike rides, if you like to
Canoeing, kayaking.
kayak,
And sometimes little dogs are better at being left in the rig. You know, Bo wants to go with us.
he wants to go
He
everywhere.
would be barking.
Yeah.
In fact, he did. When we were in that campground that we were locked in.
Yeah.
We wanted to go watch something on this dock, and we couldn't leave him. He was just,
Yeah. So it's tough. It's really tough. I don't know how else to minimize that. I mean, we love going with our dog, but you travel with the dog, you give up a lot of freedom and mobility and action. If you're really active, a dog will make you less active. In most
it's kind
places.
of like everything in life. You get a big RV, you have all that room, you have the benefits of the big. You get a small RV, you've got something different. No matter what you get, there's trade-offs. Any RV you get, it's not going to be 100%, but nothing in life is perfect. I mean, there's always trade-offs.
You're gonna love this question.
Oh dear.
This is from Anna. Where'd you get your cool T-shirt, Mike?
Oh, do we tell them the story?
We could tell them the story, but you tell them the story.
Okay,
it is a cool T-shirt, but it came
Okay.
at quite a cost.
Yeah.
I bled for this T-shirt, literally.
I have to give blood because I have a hereditary condition where I have to give blood.
They have to give a pint of blood every few
About
weeks.
every 2 months,
Yeah.
3 months at the longest. And in Michigan, because it's difficult for me to give blood, I have one woman who is absolutely
When you
marvelous.
say it's difficult, your veins.
They have a rough time, but she's wonderful. But only last Friday was she allowed to take blood from people. And when I called up, they didn't know when she'd be allowed to do it again. So I had to find a place to give blood. So anyway, long story, try to make it short. We found a place where you could donate blood. And I said to Mike, you're my driver. And so we got there, and Mike decided he'd give blood too. And why did you decide you'd give blood?
Because I got this cool T-shirt.
And I'm saying, no, you
is.
you are my driver. You are here to take care of me. So anyway, they could not get blood out of me. I gave them my best vein, and they could, and then my other arm, they couldn't even find a vein. And I'm just like, no, where's my person that I love in Michigan? But anyway, long story. So, but Mike, they didn't just take blood. They asked if they could have some
It's a
extra
triple play with me.
extra red cells. So I think it's called a double. But they had its blood running through
It was
some
like for
machine
40 minutes they were.
that they were taking everything the guy had,
I have O positive, which is like
the universal donor.
it's like gold.
And I think most folks are not giving. I have to give blood.
They
Most people,
wanted to take whole blood. No, not just whole blood. They wanted to take red cells.
they took red cells, a unit of
They took plasma, whole
plasma.
and red.
They
but-
took everything they could get out of him.
Yeah.
I got him
40
home, and
minutes
both
at
of his hands were doing this. And our son's a physician, and he said, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and they've just lowered your immune system.
But I got a cool T-shirt.
But you got a T-shirt.
What's more than that? Yeah.
I mean, you can't take them anywhere, folks.
No. Oh well. Meantime, we still got to get you drained.
Yeah, I still got to give blood
So,
somewhere. Anybody got
Deb-
any pet leeches?
Yeah. Nothing open in camping in Massachusetts. Yeah, Deb, I know that New England is going to be really restrictive for quite a while. I know New England's a tough place. Ivan and Joe, is there an application we can use that identifies restrictive flying zones? Lots of them. Just look up no-fly zones for drones. Google that. You'll get lots of stuff back. Most drone software, I use the DJI Go app, will tell me when I boot up the app and connect the drone that, hey, you're in a no-fly zone. But if you're not sure, just do a search, no-fly zones, drones. You'll get several sites that'll help you. But know off the top of it right now that drones are not allowed in any national parks, and in many state parks they also don't allow drones. So that's pretty tough. Robin, the comment, Montana, FWP. I don't know what that means. Montana Fish and Wildlife Park, I guess, and state parks are open for camping, as well as some of the National Forest campgrounds, but a 14-day quarantine applies to out-of-state folks. So see, this is where it gets confusing. If you're coming from out of state, you got to quarantine someplace. Suppose you could quarantine in your camper, maybe at the park. I don't know.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to
But you
leave,
got to
are
stay
you?
14 days. So
I mean, you can't.
yeah.
You're not supposed to go outside, are you? Do you get to go outside if you're
Yeah.
quarantined?
And so, like Wyoming, right next door, in-state residents can go camp there, but out-of-state in Montana, it looks like they want you to quarantine. Not and in Wyoming, only in-state are allowed to camp right now. Now, hopefully, these things will lighten up as we get through there. But what do you guys think? They're your states, so I'm curious the climate in your state. South Carolina state parks and Georgia are open for state park camping. Upstate New York says hi. Hi, Mike and Jennifer. Just test drove a 2020 Wonder with diesel. Sales said Wonder's going to EcoBoost. Which would you choose? I would go with the EcoBoost, the gas. I would go with that in a heartbeat. Now, I'm curious where you drove that 2020, and are you sure it was a 2020 Transit? Now, it could be a 2020 Wonder, but it was the Ford Transit chassis 2020. So I'm curious where you drove it, because I don't think any of the Wonders are being sold at this point. They're still trying to resume production and build them. But that's one of the things that I am really fascinated about getting my hands on and trying it, is that new 2020 Wonder on the 2020 Ford Transit chassis. Updated chassis, gas, all-wheel drive. Is that cool or what? So we're kind of, gosh, I sound like Dean there. That's what he says all the time. Is that cool or what? He does.
You've been hanging around Dean
I've
too
been hanging
much.
around Dean way too much. But anyway, I can't wait to see those myself. So I'm curious, Joe, where you saw yours, and that's good. Hi from Trinity, Florida. It says Cattle Dog Cruising was able to make reservations for May 18th at Paynes Prairie State Park, and that hasn't been canceled yet. Well, I hope it doesn't. That's just a week or so away. And Paynes Prairie is right up near where we just put a video up last week on the Ocala National Forest, which is closed to camping still. But Paynes Prairie is right in that general area. Nice area of Florida to camp. Do you have any suggestions for traveling with a cat? Not a one.
I think a lot of people do it and they don't have any problems. Some people put their cat on a little collar and rope, and others just let it wander. But I think most people have a little rope that they keep their cat on. And a lot of people do it and they don't have any problem whatsoever. And another thing people travel with are birds.
We've seen people
A lot
with
of
birds.
people travel with birds.
You remember the guy in Michigan at Addison Oaks County Park that traveled with his boa constrictor? And the boa constrictor got loose. They never could find him. They searched and searched and searched. He got off in the woods someplace, but of course it gets so cold that would have killed the snake. But it was like a big one. So that's crazy.
I don't have a neighbor with a boa constrictor that's going to get loose.
Yeah, me too. David says Pennsylvania state parks in the northwest and north central parts of the state will be opening on May 15th. So that's Pennsylvania. That's great. Here's somebody else that likes my shirt.
What is a cool
I've got to have more shirts. I'll have to have cool shirts.
Well, they wanted you to come back the following week and give more blood.
Well, that's it. I
You'll
don't
probably
want to
get another.
No.
You don't.
No, I'm done with the blood. Anyway, York says he likes it. We've been to the Naval Air Museum in Pensacola, great museum. One of the best museums, hands down, in the country is the Naval Air Museum. If you are anywhere along the Gulf Coast, fellow travelers, go to the Naval Air Station in Pensacola. It's closed right now, but go there, make sure when it's open, and spend a day. Don't make the mistake we made. We went when we only had a couple hours left. We thought, we'll be able to see it. It's a full day. It is awesome. Awesome place.
Okay, I have to tell you, you're not allowed to leave a dog in your vehicle when you're there.
Oh yeah, you are not allowed to use it.
So don't pull up there
It's
with the
another
pet.
problem with dogs. Even if
'Cause
you're in an RV and you say, "Oh, I got the air conditioner on," you're
can't
not
do
allowed
it.
to do it.
So you got to find doggy daycare.
That's another issue that we found across the country. Arizona is another state. Even if you're in an RV, Georgia is another state. Even if you're in an RV and you have a pet unattended, even with the air conditioning running, somebody can break into your RV and rescue him, and you can be fined. So these are the issues that you need to know about traveling with the dog. Now, we love our dog, obviously. You all know us, and he's a big part of our family. But we also want to be real honest about, that it comes with the. If you're thinking
And
about getting one and
it's
traveling,
hard to leave your pet with a stranger. With Rover or whatever you can find in doggy daycare. It's hard leaving them.
Yeah. Here's another update on camping around the country. This is from James in Wisconsin. State parks are open, but no camping, no reservations until after June 1st. Thanks for
So
that
the big
report.
holiday weekend, they're
Yeah.
going to try to
They're-
keep people home.
I think a lot of people are going to keep things closed until after Memorial Day
That makes sense.
and then open them up, more freely
Probably
after that.
mid-June.
Yeah, who knows? Tracy Miller, happy Mother's Day, Jen. Do you still have your e-bikes? We do. We just bought the folding kind and love them. They're only 45 pounds. We
Oh,
love the
wow.
folding, and they're so neat. We say this every week. Somebody asks us, where's our e-bikes? And they're unfortunately back in Michigan because this was originally a work trip. We were finishing up on our Florida book, which I hope you guys have gotten, our new book on the Keys. And we were just down to quickly get some video and some photographs, and we didn't really have time. We had Bo with us. We didn't have time to do a lot of exploring with e-bikes. We
And
wish we had them in Key West, it turns out. And then we came up here.
And here we don't have any place to store them.
Yeah. And
So that was a consideration too.
we would have found something to do, though. If we had had them, we could have certainly used them here, and that would have been great. That's great. Any guide you're away, a guide of what clothes and quantity of clothes to bring for full timing. Robert, Jennifer has a huge post that will go up on the blog tomorrow morning. And if you're a member of our fellow travelers newsletter, the newsletter we send out every Monday morning, there'll be a big post on it tomorrow morning. And I'll have a follow-up one from me the following week. But in it, we talk about what clothing to bring. And most people bring way too much. But maybe you could recap. What do you think people need to bring and not bring?
Depends on where you're going. It's always good to have a rain jacket, a windbreaker, a warmer jacket, a sweatshirt, T-shirts. Depends on how many days you're comfortable wearing a T-shirt, whether you're going to stop every 4 days, someplace where you can do laundry, like a KOA or someplace, where you can pull up.
You can't just turn your underwear inside out and wear it that way?
Whatever you want to do, Mike.
I do, but you wouldn't let me do that.
So you have to think about, you can get some of those slacks that you have a zipper that can be pants or they can be shorts to try to, get by taking less clothes. But, if you got, because I have a lot of room, when I have room, I take more clothes because I don't want to buy anything.
Yeah. The basic thing is we think on a minimum, assuming you're going on a longer trip, on a minimum 3 days, maximum 5 days. You can, wear shirts a couple of days. I don't want to get too, but 3 days minimum, 5 days maximum, and you clean them up as you go along.
Where you're going, what part of the country you are.
Yep.
In Michigan, we tend to have all kinds of weather. It can be hot, and then it can snow, and it can be everything.
Yeah.
You need to be prepared.
Ivan and Josie, Maryland state parks are open for
Awesome.
camping. Great. Thank you for that. And I assume that's for everybody, whether you're in resident or not resident. So that's good. Hi to Natasha. Hello, Natasha. Peter, have you considered getting an extended shower curtain rod for 30% more shoulder room? I loved your video on 7 essential things to buy for your RV, especially those valves. Why would I need a extended
think about
shower
this.
curtain rod? I don't know.
Well, maybe if you wanted to make 2 rooms, if you wanted the back work area and then a front work area, that any kind of divide would make for 2 areas.
Yeah.
So
I don't know how that would work in our, because we've got a dry
I've seen a
shower.
lot of people do that. I'm talking about
A Class B one?
in a B where people put up a rod because they want 2 areas.
Oh, yeah, like a drape. I think he was, Well, I don't know. But yeah, if you're talking about for our shower, that's what I was focused in on that question. Our shower, we have a standalone dry
We have
shower that's
with a
fine.
nice door.
Um, so I don't know. I'm not sure where that is. What's that in reference to? Mike, my wife and I travel with our dog currently. If we can't bring him to a place, we won't go. Your choice. Would rather spend our money at places that are pet friendly.
There you go.
See, again, it's all up to you. I mean, some people feel that. We like to go to national parks, and we take Bo to them, but we have to curtail what we do. Now, we've left him at Yellowstone. We have a couple of short little hikes that we like to take, but I always end up frustrated on one of them, the one to Trout Lake. I love that hike,
And we'd
but
like to take them,
I'd
but
love to take
understand
him
that we can't
because
because
there's
of wild
bear and
animals.
but I always get to that lake. We hike up to this lake, and I just want to hang out. It's so beautiful, but we gotta then go all the way back. And always we see, last time we were there, we had a moose right on the trail there. So, but know that it's your choice with your dog, and most places are not dog friendly. I have to say this, and that's again. Somebody said, Linda says, is that an alligator snapping turtle? I don't think it's a snapper. I think it's a different name for it, but it was a big, lazy old turtle. And it's funny because right after you said that, there it was underneath the water. So I got the picture right after you said that. Ken Cooper's going camping next weekend at Bellevue State Park in Bellevue, Iowa. Yay. I think all of the Iowa state parks are open.
Awesome.
So there's another state that's open. Hi, Kathy in Clearwater. The turtle in the video, that's it. You're right. Joe Woods has got it. It's a Florida soft shell turtle. I know that's it because I saw a sign that said they had them in there. There you go. Thank you, Joe, for helping us identify the mystery turtle. Wisconsin, all campgrounds are open. Just have to practice social distancing. No groups over 10 people.
Sounds good.
Some North Carolina private campgrounds are open. Amenities remain closed. We stayed at a private campground in Georgia last weekend. And while the campground was open, and they had quite a few campers there.
Yeah.
But the amenities were closed. The public bath and the showers and all that were closed.
The laundry.
And the laundry
And
was
it was
closed.
fine. We never saw the people that ran the campground.
Yeah, you had to do everything online.
We did everything online.
Norm says nothing's open in Ontario. State parks are closed for overnight camping in California, says Cynthia. Thank you for that report. Lori Nelson says, we are still shut down here in Southern Oregon. Ugh. People are getting antsy. Okay, I'm getting antsy. Lori, everybody is. Everybody is. And it will be interesting to see. Hey, I just saw some thumbs up go. Would you guys give us thumbs up on this too? Besides subscribing to this channel, give us a thumbs up. We would appreciate it. And I mentioned our newsletter that comes out tomorrow morning. If you've not yet subscribed, you go to that list right there. You can sign up. When you join our newsletter, you get a newsletter that comes out 6 a.m. Eastern Time every Monday morning, jam-packed with kind of inside RV news. And you also get lots of perks and tips and some unique discounts that various people offer those who are a member of our community. So we'd love to have you be a part of the community. And if you just go to that address, sign up if you haven't already done so. Corps of Engineer campgrounds begin to open June 1st in Tennessee. We have reservations for June 8th at Defeated Creek COE in Carthage, Tennessee. Corps of Engineer campgrounds. If you've never been to one of those are awesome. They're almost all on water, and they're really nice. Thanks, Ronald, for that report. Kevin says Happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you.
Wendy in New York says there's no open state campgrounds there, and she doesn't believe any are open. Angela says hi. Here in Georgia, state parks are still closed, and Corps of Engineers open up next week. Private campgrounds are open in Georgia, though, and they are in many other states. Many of the private ones are. There's a big debate about private. Some of the states say that the campgrounds are an essential business, which I argue they are, because that's, many people live full time in their RVs, and other states say no, they're not, and so private ones have to be closed. But each state is different. Tracy's about to get a small RV to live in, but I was worried about being alone and 56 and disabled. I'd be worried too. So do have some limits. My children live all over, so I can't financially fly so much.
I don't know what your disabilities are, but do it. If you think you can do it at all, you have a heart's desire to do it, you want to go see your kids, you can't fly, go for it. You can always sell it. I mean, I don't want to get you, in debt or do something that you shouldn't, but you want to go see them?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know
I don't know
what
what
to
your
say. Yeah, we don't know
disabilities
enough
are.
about your situation, but the key for me is that I'm worried about being alone, and this isn't probably, this isn't probably a good lifestyle for you. You've got to gauge how much worry there is, because if you're familiar with an RV and you know about driving across, if this is all new to you, try it out for a few weeks before you just invest everything and go full time to live in it always. Try it out first. That's a big step that you're taking. Howard says, the video you did last year in Ohio was called Lakeside. It is listed as a different name on all stays, or is that part RV park? Permanent near the state campground near the lake.
Oh my goodness, that's Bo. That is how Bo barks. It is not just a little bark. It is like the world is ending. Bo, stop it. I always jump out of my skin.
Dogs across the country are barking now.
Bo.
Back to Howard's question. The place is called It is called Lakeside, and it's also known as Chautauqua, and it is a members-only place. You can camp there, although most of the campsites are seasonally rented. You can call when they're open and kind of book around times, but it's Lakeside or Chautauqua. Look it up either that way. I think its official name is Lakeside Chautauqua, and it's just it's between Toledo and Sandusky, right on Lake Erie. And again, look at the video on it. There's a link in the video with it'll take you right to their website. So check it out. If you search Lakeside Chicago or Chautauqua Lakeside here on the YouTube channel, you'll find it. And by the way, when you want to search for our videos, YouTube is really kind of tricky. I just learned this myself. At the very top of the YouTube, there's a big, search bar. Well, that will search all of YouTube. But if you just want to search our stuff, just the stuff that appear on our channel, we have like 500 plus videos. Look for the little magnifying glass on the upper right-hand corner. And it's a small one. And if you search there, it'll return only stuff that appear on our channel. And so if you go Lakeside, Chicago, Lake Erie, search that and you'll be able to find it that way. I just learned that today.
That's
yesterday.
Good. I don't know how loud he came across on this what we're doing, but we get that in like the middle of the night. In the middle of the night, it's just this alarm.
And Bo is not a condo dog. He doesn't really bark a lot when we're camping. Sometimes he'll bark if wildlife comes into the campground, which you want him to do. But here, if he sees the dog running out in the street or somebody walking past in the condo, he barks. Hey, new people, a new person on the site, Radu. It says is from New Brunswick, Canada, first time in the chat. Thank you for joining us. Mindy says you're a wealth of info. I'm new, so I'll be checking out the website. Please do. And do you know that we do a podcast? Every Wednesday we do a podcast. Please check out the podcast. Here's some information about it. Nope. I was going to play a little file back now. There we go. Anyway, we do a podcast, and it's on every Wednesday it comes out. So check our podcast out. It's the RV podcast. You can listen to it on all your favorite podcast apps. Or if you, again, go to our RV Lifestyle blog, you can find all of our podcasts right there, too. So please check out our podcast. We would love to have you do it. Texas, here we go, another state. Ann says Texas is opening state parks on May 18th, next weekend, for overnight camping, but limiting the numbers allowed in. They won't be filling every spot. Social distancing, it certainly is the rule, isn't it? But Texas is starting to open up its state parks. Hello from Kemp, Texas. Speaking of Texas, from the Wilsons on Wheels. Jim says hi in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Still cold here, 40 degrees today, about minus 10 centigrades, which is 20, around 20 Fahrenheit, I think, something like that. And reiterates something somebody else said, that Iowa state parks are basically opening up. Am I partial to the Blue Angels or the Thunderbirds? Oh, the Blue Angels all the way. For a couple reasons. One, they practice just up the beach here in Pensacola. Number two, as a journalist, I actually got to ride with the Blue Angels on one of their jets many years ago. And, it's a two-seater. You sit back here, and the pilot's up there. And they actually were running a little video. And the guy gets you in, and they come down the runway about like here. And we're getting up to speed. And he says, on the radio on the headset, he says, "You ready, sir? We're going to go up." And I said, "Okay." And instead of, I figured he's going to go up. No, he goes, "Like that." And I mean, it was the coolest thing I ever did in my life. They when they go to town, they often let the media ride, so they get a little publicity, and that was really fun. So I'm Blue Angels all the way. Love those guys, and I love watching them. And if you come to Pensacola and the Gulf Coast, I think it's Tuesdays that they travel. Just look them up, Blue Angels, and you can find information. But you can go watch them once the base opens, once the Naval Air Station at Pensacola opens. You can go right on the tarmac. They have bleachers set up. And the planes all circle around, and they come up on the tarmac. The pilots come out and meet you, and you get to watch them all rehearse and
I
practice.
absolutely love the planes.
Yeah.
I think it's great fun
That's
watching
Naval
them fly.
Air Station. It's worth a vacation in itself to come to the Pensacola, Florida area for the Blue Angels. And you got places like Fort Pickens State Park, right on the Gulf there. You have the Gulf Islands National Seashore. Pensacola is a great place. In fact, since we have some downtime here, maybe we should go up and do a Pensacola video. We've done stuff on where we stay here at Destin, but maybe we should go up. And great restaurants. Now, I know everything's kind of shut down. In Florida, the restaurants opened for 25% maximum seating last week. Outdoor seating, as long as it's 6 feet apart. Tomorrow, the hair salons and the barber shops open. And
I'm waiting for the gyms.
the beaches are open. We hope the beaches. We hope the gyms
He's open for the
sometime
gym so that he
too.
won't have to listen to me.
70 degrees in Anchorage yesterday,
Wow.
said Boyd. Beautiful. That's amazing. That's awesome. Let's see. We've got Anne in Delaware, Gerard in Montreal, Quebec. Linda says, "I just picked up a 2000 Unity FX, 2020 Unity FX. Haven't been out yet. Have you any tips about using the key fob and locking the doors? I don't want to lock myself out."
Oh, that's always a fear, no matter what you have, not locking yourself out. Some people have a little hidden key someplace.
Yeah, if you use the key fob, you also have a key. You have a key that'll open the side door, and you have keys that'll open the ignition. So you're good, Key fob is just a convenient, button lock, but you always have the keys and carry the keys with you.
Around
So
your
that's
neck.
good. Yep. Ohio State Parks taking reservations starting the 1st of June. Thank you, Leslie, for that.
Sounds good.
Iowa State Parks again are open. Let's see. People have the most difficult time in communicating to others, eh? If you just say your location, it saves the Wendlands a lot of time, eh? Frank, are you from Canada, eh? Yeah. Thanks for helping me out, buddy. Do you use the cell phone signal booster? If so, which one? I'm hi from Wisconsin. We do have a cell phone booster. I usually leave it on when we're in fairly remote places, but to tell you the truth, over the last year and a half, just the little MiFi Verizon data card that we use works perfectly well. I don't need to use the booster. Maybe once or twice over the past year have I really needed it. I have the WeBoost. Oh, I don't remember the name of it. There's a video here. You can look for my internet solutions. I've got all these backup stuff. I've done a whole ton of things, and you'd think that I have trouble getting the internet, but almost everything I now do just with that Wi-Fi card. We've taken it for granted. You can look elsewhere on the channel here. We've got lots of videos on the internet and what we've used, and you'll see plenty of them. Hi from Wisconsin. Did you use the bicycle camper? Bicycle
Must
camper.
have us confused with somebody else, maybe.
Yeah, it must be. I did a story several years ago about a
Oh,
guy
I
who
bet
made
you
a
that
bicycle
guy
camp.
who made that.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
kind of a chintzy little thing that
Yeah.
he was just trying to start a company, and but we didn't use it. I just rode
We
the
just
bike and did a
we
video
just
on it.
found it interesting that he did that. And I guess in Europe, a lot of people have really nice ones.
Yeah, that's something I can think that you're talking about.
Yes, I think that's what.
Yeah. Uh, at night while camping, do you have to get up in the middle of the night to walk the dog? No.
So far, we
No.
haven't. I mean, there's
No.
always the chance if a dog has an emergency,
He
but
had maybe when he's a puppy, we did a few
and
times,
then when they get old,
but yeah, he's fine. He lasts through the night.
yeah.
Really good.
Our last dog would go 24 hours because he didn't like rain, and he would not go out if it was raining. He was not going to get wet.
All right, another report about where you can camp. This one from Cindy, and she says, Indiana, we can finally use our seasonal campsite now. Overnights begin on May 24th. Phase 2 starts tomorrow for all but 3 or 4 counties. In Indiana, another state where there's some camping involved. New York State parks are open for day use, but no camping. It's the same as it is here in Florida right now. She thinks New York State will be one of the last states to open, if not the last. Well, Michigan might tie you for that. So, Colorado, correct, not the new chassis yet. Yep. Joe's the guy who was telling me about. He had the 2020 model. Here's something that confuses a lot of people about RVs. They say,
This
I
is
got a
very
2020.
confusing.
And it is. But really, your 2020 is really a 2019 most of the times. Usually, it's the chassis that really determines what model year the vehicle, the motorhome is. And so right now they're building on 2019 chassis. They may call their model, if it's an updated floor plan, they may call it a 2020 floor plan, but it's on the 2019 chassis. And they all do this, and it gets very confusing.
All do it.
But I know Leisure Travel Events is about to start building on the 2020 Ford Transit chassis, and that's what they build the Wonder on. So it will be a true 2020, both Transit van chassis and the motorhome part. And
Wow, they're going to be the first to do that.
they're going
Have
to,
it
well,
both the same.
I think some other people are building it too, but that's what they're doing right now.
It's always driven me slightly crazy.
Florida is opening up. Let's hope it works. There's still many new cases of COVID-19 and Floridians dying. Let's hope the science helps us. I'm just happy to see it opening up. Hey, Kim says you're in Thunderbird country, I think the Thunderbirds, where are they based? They're based south of us. The Pensacola Air Station, which is a naval air station, is home of the Blue Angels. So we're closer to the Blue. We are in Blue Angel territory. And every now and then, even as far as we are, we're like 35, 40 miles east of Pensacola, where we are here in Okaloosa Island. We'll see the Blue Angels sometimes even going up and down the shoreline. And that's pretty good.
I love planes. I got to tell you, they've always fascinated me.
Yeah. And as Sharon, I mentioned this earlier that it's closed, but it has been closed since that terror attack last year. She tried to get in March. They didn't know when they'd open again. I think they'll be opening as soon as the coronavirus scare passes a little bit. Chuck just bought a new travel trailer. Got an incredible deal, low interest. Now's a great time to take the plunge for folks wanting to get a new camper.
It is with the low interest rates.
Read the story that I just put up about a good friend of mine, of the anchorman of the TV station I used to work with, Mort Krim. Any of you in Detroit would certainly know that. He also was a big anchor guy in Philadelphia. But Mort is retired, lives down in Florida, and he and his wife, Renee, just bought a Class B. Now, they had a Class A for years. They camped in a Class A, but they sold it. And then they had planned to kind of stop their RVing, and they were just going to they wanted to do European tours. But then this virus came, and now they don't want to go to Europe, no flights, and stay away from hotels. They'd like to visit their kids, but their kids are scattered around the country. They don't want to fly. They don't want to stay in hotels. So they bought an RV, a Class B, and he just bought it. Turns out that's part of a big trend that RV dealers all over the country are seeing right now. People buying an RV because they figure the only place they can really vacation is locally, and it's a lot easier to be socially distant in your own RV than staying in hotels and places like that. Read the video. Check the video. Actually, it's not a video. It's a blog post on the blog, and you can find it if you just go right there to the blog, and we appreciate that. let's see. Bill says, I pack for 2 weeks of international travel in a carry-on.
I have gone to Africa and all over the world with a carry-on.
Yeah, me too. The more you travel, the more you realize how much you don't need. That's really the case of it. But when you first start off, it gets pretty crazy. Linda says she's checking the Maryland State Park website right now, and they only selected parks are open. So she advises everybody wisely, check before you go someplace.
I would check before I left the driveway.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me look here as I'm going quickly through here.
Oh, it's 8 o'clock. This hour is gone.
Oh, is it? Holy cow! Where did the time go? Okay,
Of
let me
course,
go.
that's 7 o'clock.
No, yeah, it's 8 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah.
My goodness, you guys are gone.
My watch is on Eastern time. We're living in Central time.
Time goes so fast, and no wonder Bo was barking because it's time for him to get his evening walk. I'm scrolling through the end here. I don't want to miss any super chats, but
Or questions.
but let's see. But there's a million questions on here, and I wish we had time to get to all of them, but we don't. And what can I say? So anyway, thank you guys so much. Don't forget the newsletter comes out tomorrow, and we'll have a big post. You want to see this post that Jennifer has done on the blog tomorrow, and it's really newbie advice for women RVers, new RVers that are for women. It's kind of, and also for women who maybe are a little apprehensive. They don't necessarily share the enthusiasm that their traveling companions do. Anyway, it's a big, long, comprehensive site. I'll do my version of that the following week, but hers starts up tomorrow, and we urge you to check that all out. Thanks to Phyllis, and thanks to Chris, and thanks to all of you who gave us a pretty comprehensive look tonight at what parks are open and what aren't. Bottom line, everybody says check before you go, but clearly we can see some light at the end of the tunnel. A lot of places open.
So I wonder if Father's Day, people will be able to be with loved ones.
You're going to say it's discrimination, huh? Father's Day.
No. No.
Yeah,
I
nobody,
hope by Father's Day everybody can be with family.
Yeah.
But we're family. We're
Yeah.
RV family.
We are family. Thank you guys so much for spending your Sunday night with us. Be safe wherever you are. We've been telling you for these many weeks that it's going to get better, and it's slowly starting to get better, but let's not rush into anything. Be patient. Dream. Check out Jennifer's posts tomorrow. We've got a whole bunch of books, new books. If you want to get excited about travel, there are now 10 different books that we have, and that's our link to all of our adventure guide books, RV adventure books. Just go check those out. That'll keep you busy. You can do a lot of planning, get excited about where you're going to be able to go and when you're going to be able to go.
Get a whiteboard, get a big map.
Yeah, make some plans,
Pens.
Dream big, get excited. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you a week from tonight with Ask Us Anything. Bye.
Happy trails.